Today in the throne room, let's talk a little bit about Cersei Lannister and also Euron Greyjoy. Now, I'm going to continue on this because this was actually the closing of those two. That's, definitely a toxic relationship. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think, as well as a theory that's been well known to go around. And I'm going to provide a disclaimer for the person that wrote a very rude comment. I erase those. I don't play with rude comments, and I don't, I just don't. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what happened on this season 7 of Game of Thrones, because, as we know, everything was pretty crazy. Left a lot of questions, as we ended that season, and we go back and watch it and kind of pick out things that kind of we question and will be coming up for the next season. So we did get to the bottom of previously unanswered questions, like whether or not Arya and Sansa were actually plotting against Littlefinger. We actually did hear Gilly reveal Rhaegar Targaryen had a marriage annulled and Viserion can now blow blue smoke, which, he became a White Walker type dragon. There's one major plot line that kind of gives us a question, and in this case, it's going to be Cersei's pregnancy. So at the end of episode 5, Queen Cersei drops the news on her brother lover, Jaime, that a Lannister baby's on the way. While viewers sort of believe Cersei that her brother is the father of the child, we know it's twisted, but kind of crazy because we all know that incest does happen, in this show quite a bit. And we have another bigger plot going on with Jon Snow and Daenerys going on as well, but they're not sister brothers, so I don't know. We also have the theory that Cersei's baby's daddy is someone who's a lot scruffier and more ruthless than Jaime, which is Euron Greyjoy. Now, putting aside all thoughts that Cersei's a complete nut and would actually lie about being pregnant in the first place, this is kind of why I think that she's doing it. And maybe in this place, she did tell Sansa that you could just have to use your assets the right way, we'll say. She did tell her that. During the season finale, Cersei reveals although Euron immediately dipped out of King's Landing upon seeing the White, he actually is going to Essos to get more forces for the Lannisters. A plan that he and Cersei had schemed up behind Jaime's back. So in this case, they're meeting when he doesn't even know that they're meeting. Okay? So let's just keep that in mind. Now, in this case, this situation does raise a lot of questions for many, that basically Cersei is not telling Jaime everything, and she did reveal that to him as well. When Euron arrives in King's Landing earlier in the season, he professes his love for Cersei and his plans to one day make her his bride. Kind of weird because he's never seen her before, supposedly, right? Well, it's obvious Cersei wouldn't know she was pregnant if they had sex upon the meeting, although the timeline of the season is very obscure because we see a lot of things being sped up, and, we really don't know how long Daenerys and Jon spent together. We really don't know how many times Tyrion talked to Varys. There's just things that have been cut out. It's interesting how Euron wastes no time before making fun of Jaime's sexual relationship with his sister, and that might be also something that he played up. Euron does what he does best and taunts Jaime, asking what Cersei is into in the bedroom. So was he just doing some market research, or did he already know what Cersei was into? We all heard that. We ain't gonna go into that. Now, Euron and Cersei are both so shady and power hungry, and it only makes sense that their secret relationship started way before the decision to betray Jon and Daenerys and their plan to defeat the White Walkers. And let's just be honest and be real. In case that he is the father of the baby like she claims that he is, would she really just let him ride away to the north if he really was? Maybe he knows that she's lying. She may have saved him, but not allowing the mountain to kill him. But Cersei doesn't know what she doesn't really know what's going to happen next, I think. And she doesn't know when she'll see him again, so he's really been very dissatisfied with her this season. I never heard him say anything like remotely rude to her, but at this point, I think anything goes, So we can all agree that this is true. Euron and Cersei would make more seriously an even more serious evil child, but we'll just have to wait, and next season it picks up with Cersei's pregnancy and all the mysterious cliffhangers that were left within the season finale. So let me know what you think. Now, as we know, this is not something that's like ultimately true until we see this, episodes come out and everything. But I want you to tell me what your thoughts are. Like, everything that they did when they met Daenerys was played. When did they get together for that? He wasn't there for that either. So we have to think about the gaps in time that they're not providing in the timeline what we could see in the show. So it's not like it was before. We're like, oh, how'd they get there so fast? Because it's a movie type, movie TV series, if you will. I call them cinematic series because I feel like they are more like movies than series when it comes to HBO's shows. I've actually been watching The Deuce and Da Vinci's Demons on Stars, and I will be doing reviews on those as we close out the Game of Thrones Season 7. And I'll be updating you with some other question and answer type videos when, who is she pregnant with exactly, Let's go ahead for all those Game of Thrones fans. If you are a real fan, then go ahead and comment below. And if you just don't feel like commenting, then you won't. Now, as you may know, I do definitely love the Game of Thrones, but I have other videos that I do review on, which are King's Outlander, and then we also have Last Kingdom that I do reviews on, and then I also have done The Young Pope, and I hope to continue on my Medici's Masters of Florence series. If you don't know, Medici Masters of Florence does star Dustin Hoffman, and lately he's been in the news for some unscrupulous situations. And then we also have Robert Stark, actually the character that played Robert Stark, well, the real person, Mr. Madden at least, he actually has his own show on Netflix. It may not be returning for this next season, but we do have a character that will be returning for that season, and he's someone we know from the Game of Thrones. So if you haven't caught up with the Medici's Masters, there's a couple episodes, and I will be uploading a new episode this week and continuing on that series, as well as The Young Pope, and The Last Kingdom, and also, Outlander. So if you're not, all these shows have something in common. They're very, very good, and some of them are related off of a book. So you may want to go ahead and check out Outlander because it's really cool. The only one that is not, actually based on a book is The Young Pope, which is definitely getting some rave reviews, not only from the Pope themselves, but also outside of that. We have a lot of people like myself that, grew up in a Christian, type setup in our home, but we didn't go to Catholic church. So it's a little bit some differences and some similarities there. But I want you to go ahead and let me know what you think of this episode, of this, actual episode of this series, Toxic Relationship, Euron Greyjoy and Cersei Lannister. And I will be ending this series here, but I will be continuing on to Jaime, as well as many other questions type answer videos that I feel that really will be cool to kind of keep up with, just being engaged into the show, because we all know this winter has come. So now the night is dark and full of terrors, and you better bend that knee and subscribe and come back and see me next time. My name is Elle, and you're listening and watching The Throne Room. Enter in at your own discretion. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, go ahead and smack the like button. Otherwise, I'll be back with you tomorrow, and I'll be having weekly videos Monday through Friday for you to enjoy. Hope you like it, and have a great day.